Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. I'm Will. I'm joined by my co-host over here, the Greeze. Say hello, Greeze.
What's up, baby?
Hey.
To you and to the people that are listening, watching.
I love that.
I know. I try to say hey multiple times with just one hey.
Hey.
No,
You don't do a double hey.
you don't have to.
Single hey
Single hey
to all of they.
multiple outlets. Yeah. It's like doing the whole AI thing through all these social media accounts.
Yeah. I heard you got triggered today. We can't go into details, but the old AI bot got you real mad.
Oh,
Real fired up.
we can't talk about it. We can't, but
All I will say,
someone did something.
no, it's no one else gets that either.
Right.
But so there was our buddy Logan was doing. He loves talking with Chat GPT, and he did ask it last night. He sent me this whole thing. It's like, "What is the podcast?" And it had a pretty good description, and then like 80% on the nose, and then 20%. The bot is just making stuff up, but saying it with such confidence. Like, it didn't have to say these things, but then he follows up.
Grease's real name is actually.
Yeah, he's like, who is the Greeze? And it's like, the Greeze is one of the co-hosts on the podcast. His real name is Michael Greeze Greaseman. And it's like, why did you say that?
Right.
That's not on the internet anywhere.
How did they pull that out?
And the bot just lied. And so then it like followed down. It's like, this is a hobby, but his real work is that of a financial advisor.
Oh, that one was
His money.
Casey Bright knows for a fact that is
Not accurate.
that is I could not run in that realm.
But it did also
Sorry, I
say
accidentally touched your pinky.
it's not the first
Did that
time
throw you off?
touched my
It threw
pinky.
me off.
But then he asked it again today. He was trying to show it happen, and it was the first thing it said, "I don't know what the podcast is."
Oh,
And
right.
it said it must not have much notoriety or something like that. And then he said, Are you sure you don't know what the podcast is or something? And then the bot said,
he changed no information.
yeah, he just said, you're telling me you don't know what this is? And the chat bot said, I'm sorry, I misspoke earlier.
Yes.
I actually do know what it is. Like, you liar.
No, but then it told it.
Yeah, I told it and had some more of that other crap
That's some
involved.
more of the other things
Yeah,
that
stand
we
by.
can't talk about.
All right. So we're going to have a little fun today. We like to do tastings for people, whether it's at Whiskey Weekend, whether it is at events that we do. We've done them for charity events where we offer our services up for a bidder to bid on to go to charity. So then what we'll do is we'll take whiskey over, we'll curate a tasting and walk people through it. So we thought what we could do tonight is I would curate a tasting for Greeze. He would curate one for me. And the way we normally do these is we reveal after each whiskey what they are. So someone will knows them. They'll taste them. Many times we already have them poured. If you're watching, we already have them poured for each other. But Greeze doesn't know what I poured for him, and I don't know what he poured for me.
I do have a quick question about that, because what if now themes were on the table?
Yeah.
And so if there is a theme, revealing it after every one could throw us off.
Well, I'm not going to reveal the theme. I'm not going to
Well,
tell
what if
you
it's
what
like
it
all
is.
bottled in bonds or something? You're going to know.
Not necessarily. I mean, you may be like, aha, on the final one. But the whole point is for you to drink through it, to compare them to the previous ones, let me know
Right.
what it is. And then after, because I've done many of these tastings, Grease has done many of these tastings, and we've done them with each other where we come up with it. But we're going to kind of test each other and grade. Like, he's going to give me feedback on my tasting I set out, and I'm going to do the same.
This is one of the avenues where people love giving whiskey. Like, these people love sharing. There's generosity involved.
Yeah.
And it's such a fun thing for someone to create 3 pours and do them blind,
Yeah.
and then you get to reveal what they are.
Yeah.
And it's so freaking exciting when you can sit there and say, "That's George T. Stack 2020, baby." Yeah. Oh my God. And then the guy's just like, because y'all are in a bourbon group together, and he's like, "Oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. When did you get this?" I'm like, "Oh, I got it online."
So this one is George T. Stack 2020 is what
Yeah.
you're saying, my middle glass.
You're saying I can't think. Okay.
Yeah. No, I know how your brain works.
Where is no, okay. So I have a question that I want to be the halftime show.
Okay. So what I'll do is
You want to hear what the halftime show is?
sure, but I was going to say we're going to go through them at one at a time. Like, you'll go through your tasting And then the halftime show will be in between
1 and 2.
Tasting 1 and tasting 2.
Yeah.
You like how we're planning this on the fly, folks?
Where is the craziest place that you have drank whiskey or done a tasting? Like, I'm thinking I had a couple of sample bottles and I poured them situation.
Okay, so we have
be
to think
thinking
about
on
that.
be thinking on that there, Will, because mine's a doozy.
Oh, all right.
It involves Northeast Georgia.
Surprise, surprise. If you watched last week, Greeze talked a lot about Georgia.
Well, you know who I didn't talk about?
Who?
James Smith.
Oh.
Because I don't need to.
That's fair. All right, do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first? Like, do you want to partake in my tasting first, or do you want me to partake in yours first?
I would like for you to partake in mine.
Okay, that's fair.
So you can sober up so we can do this again later.
Yeah, it's going to keep going.
Now, I will say first eyeballs.
Okay.
There's obviously a more generous person here as far as
Oh, you're talking about fill level?
Yeah, fill level.
I think they look pretty similar.
Oh, you're out of your dadgum mind.
I'm sorry. I have my bottles. I can pour more.
No.
That's fine. I was
just trying to make it a thing.
You can. That's fine. All right. So this is my first one. I'm going to go left to right. So this is in a Flaviar Glencairn.
Yes. Yes. Now, when do we want to talk about the first pour? Start talking.
I'm going to talk about it as I'm drinking it.
Okay, you talk.
So this is a little lighter in color, right? So, and yes, you did give me a nice bowl full of whiskey here, but it's a little bit lighter. So I'm curious where this is. I'm going to, just based off color, I'm thinking it's going to be a little bit lighter in proof, a little bit lower proof, or maybe age.
Copy that. Yeah. So there's
smells nice.
There's a few themes that you can do. You can do, it doesn't even have to be a theme to be lowest to highest proof. We obviously are pro lowest to highest proof so that you can still pick up on the intricacies of the whiskey. If you go from 136 proof offering to a 92, like a Blanton's or something like that, then you're not going to taste things in that Blanton's at all.
The nose is a bit floral.
Floral nose.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's not super. I don't think it's rye nose. I think it's. But there's some.
I want to drink. I should have gone first.
Floral to it. You just want to drink?
Yes,
you can. Here's an empty glass if you just want to pour yourself a starter pour.
Don't mind if I do.
It tastes automatically lower proof. I'm going to say below 90. But it also does taste like it has some age to it. Like it would not surprise me if this was something that was 10 years old. The finish is a little short. I'm going to take another sip, but right off the bat, the finish is a little short and a little bitter. So I think that reinforces some of my thoughts on it being older but lower proof. So, I mean, it could be an Eagle Rare. Even though the nose doesn't necessarily seem Eagle Rare, so like 90 proof, 10 years old. Let me try again.
He's saying Eagle Rare because every time he comes into the Nook, he just sees Eagle Rare.
It could be that 14er. It could be the 14-year-old tin cup because it tastes lower proof. That would have been 84 proof, 14 years old. But it's a nice, pleasant flavor.
That'd be on brand of me just grabbing things nearby.
What's Grease's theme of this tasting? What was in arm's reach at the moment he had to start pouring? I think there's age. I think there is low proof. Honestly, if you want someone to start to be able to taste some of the oak flavors, they are a little bit bitter on it. But I think that if someone that isn't going to want something super high proof, that's a crushable drink, and I think it tastes really good. It's a good start to that. But I feel like it's got age. I do feel like that has age to it.
Is it my turn to reveal?
Oh, yeah. So I'm guessing below 90 proof, 10 plus years, nose is floral. If I had to guess, I'm going to say it's either the Tin Cup 14 or 10 year. Like, I think I can't be precise on it, but I think it's one of those aged bourbons from Tin Cup.
So this is Four Roses, what we would like to call yellow
label.
But it's kind of like tan now.
Okay.
This is very low proof.
Yeah, 80 proof.
80 proof, 40% alcohol. And this is just what people call normal Four Roses.
Yeah, and I got, like I said, I got some, not in a bad way, but like bitterness from the oak. When it's proofed down, sometimes that shines through a little bit more, for better or for worse. So it actually tasted older than I was expecting when you revealed that.
It smelled older in the nose.
It definitely smelled
I was like,
it had better age.
because I haven't had this in a long time.
Tell you. Yeah.
I feel like we need to do something called Battle of the Bottom Shelf. And it's like this and Evan Williams and Heaven Hill and Jim Beam Black.
Could do an 80 proof roundup too. Do a bunch of 80 proofers and just see which one comes out on top.
The 80 I love how we come up with ideas while we're doing an idea that was phoned in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Not really.
This one, Poor B, is definitely... it's got more color to it. So I'm going to guess, I mean, and you can even see if you're watching at home, like this is a lot more golden. This is a lot more copper. So I'm already thinking this either has more proof, more age, or both. I mean, it wouldn't be hard to get more proof or more age from where we were, but you know,
I have a fun thing we could do.
Okay.
We do 2 and 3 back to back, make our notes, and then reveal 2 and 3 at the same time. So then, therefore, you don't see a theme because you don't know if I'm going low proofers. You don't know if I'm going.
All right. So what you're saying is you don't want me to know my number 2, which is not normally how we do these tastings.
Right.
We normally do reveal after each one, but if you want that for yours,
I would love it.
Okay.
Yeah. We don't normally do that.
Yeah. All right. Fine. I will do B and C, and then we'll wait to reveal.
Okay. I'm so glad I won that battle. Won that little skiff.
Yeah. You've won a lot of battles, and I've lost a lot of wars.
You've lost years
of my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, this already has more. I mean, that one smelled great. I actually really was pleasantly surprised by the nose on it.
Well, that's when I smelled it, I was like, dang, I need to have that.
Yeah. So I'm going to already say that this one has more flavor, and I haven't even tasted it yet, but just nosing it. But it's a familiar flavor, aroma. I love by you going so hard about not revealing. I have a feeling this is a Four Roses flight, but I'm just going to say that. And so my mind is already predisposed to think this may be a little bit higher proof, a little bit older Four Roses product. We'll see where it goes.
I can't breathe. Oh man, no, he's I mean, he's not wrong.
This is good.
It is good.
Yeah, this is good. It doesn't. That being said, it's got some like the finish is pure cherry.
Pure cherry.
Yeah. So pure cherry finish.
What does pure cherry taste like?
Just cherry. Like without any adulterations. By the way, I'm taking notes in my podcast Patreon swag. If you're not a patron, you're missing out on cool stuff like this. Go to patreon.com/thepodcast and join. But I mean, this is our patrons got this at the swag levels, and
it smells like real leather.
It's either real leather or it's some, it's
could
a skin
not.
of some animal.
Yeah, it came off skin in my back.
Yeah. It's actually
All right, I'm gonna tell while you're doing your thing.
Yeah,
you interject, but I'm gonna start telling the story about the strangest location that I.
Well, you're not even waiting to halftime. I'm not even halfway through mine.
I know. I just was thinking about it. But so I'm cruising up in the Northeast Georgia mountains. It's actually I'm going up Highway 400 where it dead ends into Dahlonega area. And then there's this hilly road that goes. Well, anyway, there's always a boiled peanut stand out there.
Love a boiled peanut stand.
100%. And that guy in particular, I don't know what he does. I think he soaks those peanuts for like 6 days.
Oh yeah, that'll do it.
And then he fires up the fire and it's like kind of like a crispy shell, but then kind of like the gooey softness in the middle, and
the shell still pops open. Like you can still pinch it.
Yes, but it is juicy goodness. If y'all don't know what boiled peanuts are,
Caviar of the South.
And you come to Tennessee, and I'll make you some. I make them all the time.
Yeah,
They're not as good as
you make them in the crock pot, right?
I do.
I've made them in a boiling pot. With
How long did it take in the boiling pot?
I mean, hours.
Right.
Yeah, but I soaked them for a long time before.
That's why I just do the crock pot, because I don't have to watch it.
Yeah, I did. I soaked it for at least 24 hours prior to boiling, and I use green peanuts as well.
Nice.
So like not roasted,
Right.
Which I have about 4 pounds of green peanuts in my freezer currently. So if you want to get in on that, I know a guy. So green peanuts are peanuts that haven't been roasted yet. I know I'm trying to make you laugh the way I'm saying peanuts that have not been roasted yet. So they're green. They're uncooked essentially. They're dry, but they're uncooked. And so they boil a lot better. They absorb the juice as well because they haven't been cooked yet. So, hey man, this one could be Four Roses small batch. To me, this one doesn't taste as high proof as I was expecting. I thought this was going to jump significantly, but this one's still probably in the 90s. It still has some age on it. The pure cherry is what stands out. It's not super complex to me, this one. This one still is pretty single dimension. I got so much cherry that it's not light.
But is it really good pure cherry?
I mean, it's definitely pure cherry. Palate, not as pure. A little bit,
a little bitter.
Yeah, there's a little bit of bitter cherry there too.
Is it bitter? Or is it bitter oak?
It's bitter oak. Yeah, it's a char bitterness.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah. All right, now I'm going to 3.
He's going to 3, folks.
Or C. This one has the best nose of them all. Obviously, this single barrel Four Roses that you poured me is so good. I can't wait to try it. I think this, just from the nose, I think this is the poor one for George Four Roses, but I could be a little off.
Because it just smells so good.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Creamy. Creamy. Very good mouthfeel. But
this is not how to do a tasting. I'm over here just like, well, no, I guess that is fun. Like, my generosity is making me have a good time, but I'm just laughing.
I know. No, it's fine. I do get more mouthfeel. Unless you hoodwinked me and all of these are the same. Is that accurate? Because they're not. They're not the same.
That
color.
would be
not fair. That would not be a good.
You would be literally like Matt Madness negative champion.
I would go ahead and start the recording over.
Yes.
I'm like, no, we're not using this. We're burning it.
Yeah.
I'll see you on Wednesday. I think it's creamy. It has a lot more. The proof though is not aggressive. It definitely has more alcohol, and I feel a warmth in the kind of the back of my throat and chest a little bit. But I mean, 110 tops, but it's not. I mean, that's where I feel like age is here, maybe 10 years, well mellowed in the barrel. It's really good.
Mm.
I'm guessing just based off this, because I'm crappy and my psychology's messed up. Four Roses small batch, just the regular, and then this is Four Roses single barrel select.
All right, pour 2 was... Pour 1 for George.
Oh, no.
Single barrel.
That was pour 2?
What you saw was pure cherry.
Pure cherry.
You had some great things to say about it.
I thought it was more one-dimensional.
Well,
I didn't think it was super complex.
James picked this.
That's fair. But this also is 113.6, and that drank like a 90 proofer. Going from 80 to that was a breeze.
Was it a breeze?
Yes. That was a breeze.
De la Greeze.
That's a good one. So then I'm guessing, I said 110 on this, but I'm guessing, I mean, it could be 120. I think on the third one. Because of how far off I was.
I'm going to say this. The third one was a fresh crack.
Of the pour one for George?
No.
Oh.
The third one was a fresh crack in general, so it's going to have more of ethanol heat.
Okay. Oh, man.
This is Four Roses, limited edition.
Oh, dang.
2017.
Well, yeah, that one won for sure.
Yeah.
Creamy, better mouthfeel. What's the proof on that bad boy?
The proof is 54%, so 108.
Yeah. So that's a little bit lower.
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely was more
A little under 11,000 bottles available for this one that year. Yeah, limited edition small batch 2017 release. Obviously, guys, there was a theme for what I did tonight. I just kind of wanted to walk through a particular distillery. You can do that with all different kinds of distilleries.
That was fun.
But
not expecting that one.
What I like to do within a lot of my tastings is there a basic pour that could be, crazy. I did that on the Stuff and Whiskey episode that I was on. I brought Wild Turkey 101, and it came in like third place out of 8, something like that.
Yeah.
And so that one was, it's a really good whiskey. It goes under the radar. I like to bring one of those pours. And we learned something tonight with the Four Roses yellow label / tan label that it's still, it is still a good pour.
Surprising how.
Oh, and then I like to have a wow pour. So when I'm doing,
and you definitely had the wow pour.
Yeah. And so when I'm doing the tasting, it doesn't have to be third, doesn't have to be first. I didn't go in order of proof. The pour one for George was a little bit higher proof, but I wanted this one to be the last one, the wow pour. And just pull something out that you don't normally do. You get to celebrate this pour in a really fun way. I just died laughing.
Yeah.
During this whole thing. That experience was worth every bit of this whiskey that's gone out of that bottle. So I highly recommend you doing a wow pour.
Well,
open up something nice and share it.
I will say my 110 guess was pretty close because I said 110 on the
You
proof,
did.
and that was 108.
But then you were like, this could be 160 compared to the others.
If back your Madness scores, I would still get good points for that because I'd already submitted it.
Yeah, you can't change your
First
answers.
of all, take a little swig of that,
please.
Because this is the Four Roses 80 proof. Not bad at all.
No.
Now,
the last time I had that, the reason I hadn't had it in a while, it was many moons ago, and I almost downed that whole bottle one night at a party in Gatlinburg.
Yeah, I remember.
Checks out.
Now try the pouring for George. James is going to be so angry.
Oh. I would have said 100 proof.
See what I mean? It doesn't taste that much hotter.
Yeah.
It's actually very well mellowed.
If you knew 80. If you knew that one.
I knew that was 80.
And you did.
Yeah.
So you had
I would never guess that is 33 proof higher.
I would have given this way better reviews than you. You weren't there to pick it.
You know what I also didn't do? Any sort of warm-up pour, which is also bad. Now, this one's lights out.
Oh, shiz.
I know.
It's like
I know.
Well, it smells like you're walking through a distillery, but like the bready, like...
Yeah, like fresh fermentation.
But it's fresh.
Yes.
It also feels like there's orange mist in the air.
Now, just wait for the creamy mouthfeel.
Okay, here we go.
I know. Like it's the clear winner.
Well,
yeah, it's so good. If you're not watching this for the experience, Grease's facial expressions are the best of all of them.
it's one of those pours. It's why we fell in love with Kentucky Owl and Dixon Devon.
Yeah.
As soon as it hits your tongue, you're like, hope there is body to this. And like my brain immediately just goes, hope this is something special.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's Wild Turkey 101.
That is special. You know, I think I do, especially with people watching.
By the way, the other day we were talking about, doing something with this, and so I took the liberty of opening.
I know it was a solid choice. I appreciate.
Well, I was like, yeah, it's for him.
It's a solid choice. I do think I have a flaw that when people are watching me, and this is actually why I think I'm really bad at like Matt Madness.
Okay.
When I'm being filmed or watching it, I undersell everything because some people go over the top like, this is incredible. It's the best I've ever had. Whatever. And I have the opposite reaction. And then they're like, oh,
Nobody does that.
You love Jim Beam White Label, and it's like, I have the opposite reaction. I'm like, this is fine. This is fine. This is fine. It's like, you're an idiot, you're a dadgum snob, or you clearly can't taste anything. And it's probably the latter, not the former, but
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was fun. So
That was fun.
you, were you going to tell you didn't get through the boiled peanut stand?
Oh, yeah.
You
well,
said,
no, I showed up out there and he and I just got to talking and I was telling him I live in Nashville now, but I try to come down here, when I can. And by far you have the best boiled peanuts, sir. And he's like, man, I appreciate all that, whatever. And I was like, do you like, and I was thinking, I was like, I got a sample bottle of whiskey in my pocket. I got a couple of them. And I was like, man, you like whiskey? He's like, oh, I enjoy whiskey. And I was like, well, I've got a sample here, man. Do you want to have a pour? And he was like, I would love to. He was actually, that sounded like nice grandpa. He's not. He's like 55, little rough around the edges.
Yeah.
So I'm not portraying that character really well.
Well,
but anyway, we just sat there and he was telling me about how they were trying to straighten out that road back there, and like they've just run into all kinds
having
of
a
issues.
heck of a time doing it.
Yeah, but then he was saying, he's like, I like the curves. It makes people slow down and actually be able to stop at my boiled peanut stand.
Yeah. You think he's got a license to be there? I think there's some sort of commerce.
Oh, it is
license.
his home.
Oh,
So I don't know.
It's like, I got a deed.
I feel like you have to make a certain amount of money on your
Right.
premises for
Yeah.
the government to even care.
That's fair.
So no, I mean, I can't, I was there for probably 45 minutes
Yeah.
and
We're the only
no
person.
one else came. But also too, there's
What'd
not
you
much
pour for
parking.
him though?
I don't remember. I have no idea.
Well, that would have been key.
But I don't want to say. Probably some Knob Creeks. Who's to say? Store picks, because it was a while back.
Yeah. I think
And those were everywhere.
I think probably the coolest location that I've brought something for people to sample and like have a tasting of was with Ty and his buddies when we went fishing.
Oh yeah.
Because I took a George T. Stagg because I wanted to share it. I was really thankful that they invited me. And I think it was on Saturday night because some people were leaving on Sunday. We broke it out and poured a generous pour for everyone to have all at the same time after, it's either right before or right after dinner. So everyone was kind of drinking it and just kind of together, and just the atmospherics of where we were with the mountains all around and the river going by.
You're basically in a hunting cabin.
And everyone just sharing that bottle of really good whiskey and everyone knowing it was special was a really cool moment. So it's not as like random, but it definitely is one. That drink of George T. Stagg I will remember for the rest of my life. In that, with that, like, I know exactly where we were, like right next to the cornhole boards and near the fire, and you see the river and the dam and the mountains and everything, and it was just perfect. And we're all just standing around, just cheers, and took a sip of it and just savored it, and it was just a moment that you have the snapshot in your mind, you never forget it. So
a cool tasting, not as cool of scenery by far.
Yeah.
Was the BTAC flight for Troy for the teas.
Yeah. No, that was a solid, because
the surroundings not so great.
The randomness of being able to connect with someone. So the teas, he lives in a small town in Ohio that isn't on the way to places.
Right.
And
neither is Ohio.
And
you know what? Actually, no, that's not true.
I was actually on the way to many places.
Right.
Yeah.
Just to piss us all off.
Yeah. But yes, I agree. That is was a special time, a special memory. We had gotten the entire BTAC lineup from Buffalo Trace that year in samples, and was going up there for a family member's wedding, and let him know, I'm like, are you by any chance near here? And he's like, that's like 30 minutes from where I live. And so I let my wife know. I was like, hey, after the wedding on Saturday in the evening, there's no other time I'm going to be near
I'm out.
this. I'm going to go see my buddy Troy And I took those samples over and just me and him hanging out. And Patty had a heck of a spread. We had some trail bologna, had some cheese, like local artisan cheese. Like there's like Amish country around there too. So there's like really good cheeses and meats and stuff. And so we, it was just me and him hanging out. We did a Christmas toast with a bunch of friends that we did online. Got to be together in person. We had a Blanton's Gold, I believe, that night that Jason Newman was shared with everyone. Nice. And yeah, it was just a super cool night. And you're right. It was a very special tasting and everything. Cause I was like, Tease, have you ever had BTAC? And he's like, maybe one. And then I'm like, you're going to have all of them. Yeah. Right now.
It's like, good Lord, Will.
Yeah, so we did. It's all right.
Bust through a wall.
So you're doing your first one. I'm going to reveal after everyone because there's a reason I selected these, but they're not necessarily all. I don't know if you'll guess the theme per se, as it's not as on the nose.
Man, it's a light nose, butter honey.
Old butter honey.
Old butter honey.
Is it not honey butter? But it's butter honey.
Man, not much. I mean, negative ethanol on this. Like, I can huff this thing and I'll be fine.
Two out of 3 of these are fresh cracks, by the way.
Okay.
Just so you know.
There's no way this is a fresh crack. If it is, it's the craziest mellow whiskey I've ever had in my life.
I poured me a little more Four Roses 2017 LE. Mm-hmm.
This is extremely familiar.
Okay.
Like yesterday familiar.
Mm.
It's got a higher malt. It's a higher malt mash bill.
Is it now?
It is.
There's so much malt.
I'm getting
in that.
cherry.
Maybe a single malt. Cherry malt.
This could be an ASW product.
Oh, okay. So what do you think age? Well, ASW is probably
I don't know. Hang on. I mean, it's kind of in that realm of thinking, like a craft distillery using higher malt, maybe a Leapers.
So do you think it's a malt whiskey or do you think it's
just higher malt?
What do you think it is?
What do I think it is?
Yeah. Like what kind of whiskey?
Oh, I think it's a bourbon.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's a bourbon
with a high malt mash bill.
High malt mash bill.
Yeah.
Would be my guess.
Okay. What do you think the proof is?
Oh, gosh. Easy. Whatever that is.
Like Sunday morning or what are we talking?
Although I've had a lot of whiskey. Oh, God. I mean, that is a delicate 105 proof.
Okay.
That is a delicate 105.
Okay. You happy with those answers? You want to know what it is? Or you just want to keep kind of
sure. I mean, I keep tasting ASW in my mouth. That sounds so bad.
This is a 4-year
Willet rye. This is a rye.
Willet small batch.
Did you get
rye.
these backwards?
No. Well, there's no chance because I didn't pour you any ASW products. So this is
this is definitely a rye.
110.2 proof 4-year-old rye. So you weren't too far off with the 105. You said it drinks delicate, but it's a 110.2 proof 4-year-old small batch rye.
I'm the worst at rye, apparently. If it doesn't just say I'm a rye, then I have no idea.
All right. Well, then let's go to
I used to be way better at that.
I don't know.
Thank you, Will. That was a good pour.
I think there's no proof in the pudding on that one.
The proof is in the pour.
How malty does this one taste or smell, do you agree?
None.
None more malt?
No. It's actually twice as malty. This just fills in the pocket. This smells like Four Roses. Craft distiller.
Why do you say that? Why do you say craft distiller based off of a sip? Because it's not very good.
No, because it tastes copper stilled. What
Copper pot still?
Copper pot stilled.
So it's got more funk to it, you think?
Yeah, it's got a little more funk to it.
A little something, something.
It's younger, but it's got some complexity to it. Something you're going to get off that pot still.
Okay.
I'm going to say this is.
So you think this is a younger bourbon or rye?
Well, it might not be younger than the first one.
You said younger. You just said that. Oh, I
just
thought
saying
you meant younger than
younger
that.
age. I'm going to say, I'd say 4 years.
Okay.
There could be some light finishing to this.
What kind of flavors are you getting that are finished?
None.
You just threw that out there?
I said there could be.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know why you said that.
I don't know when I said it either.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is in the pocket. If this
Which pocket, though? Back corner?
If this was over $50, I'd probably bar it.
Okay.
This feels in the pocket of $50. What craft distillery that I know has a $50 pour? None of them. It's going to be $70, and everybody's going to be pissed. Sorry.
Bourbon or rye? Bourbon. 4-ish years. Craft distillery. You have a eyeball on the proof?
100 proof.
100, so lower proof.
Lower proof than 1.0 something.
Okay. You want me to reveal?
Yeah. Did I do better?
No, you did worse.
Really?
Way worse, actually.
Really?
This is an Elixir single barrel pick of Riverset straight rye whiskey.
This is not good.
So 5 years, 117.1 proof.
Am I unable to taste rye?
This is the don't sleep on it pick.
Did I get COVID?
You've had it a couple times or something. So this is distilled in Tennessee, bottled by BR Distilling Company in Memphis, Riverset. We love their the juke joint, the Blue Note picks.
This is not going well.
This is their rye counterpart to those. Very good picks. Love this. This is also a fresh crack, like your first one. And it was 117. You said it was a solid 100 proof. So this is going solid, swimmingly. All right, you want to go to that third one?
This is so bad.
Yeah, I was not expecting you to do this poorly.
You know what? It's just the experience that I'm having, okay?
I know, but it's a fun. I'm not doing the game.
You can't step on my experience.
How was that? How were those two pours, though? It was pretty good. This is a good taste.
They were good. That second one I could have done without.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Tarek.
Like, no, I said it was $50, and I said if it's over that, it's a bar.
It's not over that.
I know.
I think it's $39.
That's what I'm saying. So it's a buy. But I'm just saying, like, out of the two, this smells like Stetson cologne.
In a good way?
No.
Oh, no.
This smells like Brute cologne.
I think it smells good.
Why am I... Okay, well, I need to remember
You're broken.
I need to remember what this pour is, because if I ever smell Brute / Stetson cologne,
I think it smells good. I think you're broken.
Either that or you did something to this. Okay, hang on. I'm getting past it. Hang on. It's opening up for me. Oh my gosh. I'm getting Brute. Like, there's so much Brute in that, which could be dill.
Maybe some Drakkar Noir.
It could be some mint. I'm so upset, Will.
I actually was thrilled about this tasting for you. I thought you were going to be like, this is one of the greatest tastings I've ever had. Careful with that.
Yeah, it's hot. All right. I can't nose it anymore. I'm going to have to taste it. And I swear on my life, if you spritz this with Stetson.
I swear on my life I did not.
This is a rye.
Wow, what gave that away? Was it the 2 previous ryes?
This is a good rye, Will.
Well, you were dogging the nose.
This is a barrel-proof rye. And it's got some sweetness. This is an older rye. We're talking, I'm going to say 10 plus.
Okay.
I'm going to say 10 plus years on this rye.
A lot of that barrel influence on that one.
I'm just getting candy that we get on longer aged ryes. It just counters the bitterness, and so it creates it to be more sweet to me.
Yeah, we do say that often. The like 10 plus year old ryes, we get a lot of sweetness candy. Yeah.
All I can say is thank you.
Yeah. I'm glad you got past the nose that was so offensive to your
this is really
sensibilities.
Good. This is $150 pour, probably a bottle, I would say, if I had to guess,
just based off the flavor,
mouthfeel, experience. Yeah, I mean, this absolutely just takes first place out of the 3 pours.
Cool.
And I'm assuming you did a wow pour too.
Yeah, normally you build towards something, but I actually had a really fun theme. So this is...
You did have a theme.
This is Thomas H. Handy.
Yes.
So what I did was I stepped up in age and proof. So this is a 4-year rye, this is a 5-year rye, and this is a 6-year rye. Started at 110 proof, 117, and then this one is 125. So it went up it went from this to here was about 7 proof, and then from this to here was about 8 proof. So
that's pretty good. Yeah.
So you stepped up a year and 7.5-ish average proof per bottle. So there was a consistency stepping up. Now, obviously, they're from different distilleries.
Yeah.
And they're different mash bills. But it's a fun experience when you're taking one spirit and seeing age and proof go up with it. Also, price point. These two are actually probably about the same. The Willett Family Estate, I think, is about $45 here in Tennessee. This is about $39.99. And then this one, I mean, it's a $100 bottle. It's $99 retail. Everybody knows that's how much Thomas H. Handy costs.
Right.
So,
kind of sort of like this Four Roses limited
edition. But it was
very similar in price.
Also left you on a whoa kind of moment. And
I thought something had happened.
No. Yeah. You drank Thomas H. Handy on it. So we both had a fun, like a grand finale, as they say. But but so mine were all 3 ryes, and when I do a tasting, I try not just to have like they're all ryes. I try to find a unique thing to walk people through. I've done tastings where it's all 10 years. I'm going to pour myself some here.
Copy that.
They're all 10 years, but it's like 90, 100, 110 proof. So it steps up to, so you see what proof does to the age. I've done different, same mash bills, but different proofs. Sometimes you do products from a same distillery. Yeah. It wouldn't be a recording night if Greeze didn't knock over a glass of whiskey. So I just thought it was a fun thing. I came up with this one on the...
Will's pulling everything down.
I know, I'm scared now. But it's actually kind of unique because we don't normally just do a full flight of ryes. So I wanted to do a tasting that was a little bit different and you wouldn't guess. And
yeah, you're so right. Like normally, like if we do a rye, we do it at the very end.
Right. So I thought that was going to throw you. I thought the fact that you had a rye after the first reveal, I thought you were going to be like, I bet these are all ryes, because why would you place that right here in the middle?
Oh, interesting.
Or at the front.
So. That would have been context clues. And
if you picked up on context clues, we'd be a lot further along than we are now, my friend.
Well, it doesn't matter if the context is right, because I was nowhere near a rye. So, because I'm so good at this.
Yeah. All right. I mean, this was fun. Any feedback on my flight other than that?
No, your flight was a lot of fun.
Cool.
It weirded me out.
Are we doing a 15? Do we have anything for the 15?
I think we just did the 15.
Well, we did
15
6.
pours.
Yeah. No, just 6.
Just
I only did
just
3.
6.
You only did 3 and you did 3.
No, I did all 6.
Oh, I don't remember. Oh, that's true.
I don't remember it either.
I didn't do all of them.
You do all of them.
Well,
You're pouring some of this.
Not yet. I'm still nursing this LE.
What a flex. What do you nurse, Will? I nurse 4 Roses limited edition 2017.
All right. Well, I mean, if you don't want to go to the 15, we can just wrap it up.
All right, baby.
What are we doing?
Patreon.com/the podcast. Will's already shown you some pretty freaking sweet swag. We would love the support. It keeps us going. It keeps us doing this thing. It keeps our wives off our back. We appreciate you.
That's not a thing that you have the liberty of saying, my friend.
Oh, that's...
Yeah.
Yeah, she's pretty wild.
Oh, wow. All right, folks. Patreon.com/the podcast. Support this show. This show is brought to you by the Ford Foundation and viewers like you. That's a NPR
we know what
nerd
it is.
joke.
We know what it is.
If you don't get it. All right, folks. Thank you so much. And we don't know Jack.
But we'll drink it. Bam.